Terrorist attacks have become a major concern of Western governments and their people. The terrorists have learned that with the media, word spreads fast and they can take advantage of it to scare people. But where did these threats come from? Where did they first originate? First, we must discuss what exactly is considered a terrorist attack. A terrorist attack is defined as the calculated use of violence to create a general climate of fear in a population, and thereby to bring about a particular political objective. When people think of terrorism, they think of 9/11 or the Oklahoma City bombing, the ones with catastrophic damage. But what about ones that might have had no visible damage afterwards? Let's go back to one of the earliest attacks, the Munich Massacre. What caused it? It all started when Israel decided it wanted to become a state. Then, in 1948, the first Arab-Israeli war broke out. Israel ended up winning and took many prisoners of war. Palestine wanted 236 of these released, so during the Olympics in Munich, Germany, Palestine sent a group called Black September to sneak into the Olympic Village and hold the Israeli athletes hostage until the 236 were released. The Jews also kept saying how Palestine was supposed to be the Holy Land of the Jews. What did not help in this situation is the level of security the Munich Olympic Village had. The Olympic Committee in Munich spent less than $2 million on the security and even had their guards unarmed. They did this because at the last Olympics in Mexico City, there was a fear throughout all the players because of the armed Mexican army that had just shot at Tlatelolco Plaza students 10 days before the Olympics began.
September 5th, 1972, entering the village at 4:30, the Palestinian terrorists raided the Olympic Village apartment of some of the Israeli athletes and killed 2 of them and held 9 others hostage. Black September, a military group out of Palestine, wanted to seize power from the Palestinian monarch. They wanted in return for Israel to release more than 230 Arab prisoners that were being held in the Israeli jails and 2 Germans that were terrorists, or else they would kill the hostages. 9 of the Israel hostages were killed, as well as 5 terrorists. Police from West Germany were also killed in a shootout at the Munich airport. In total, 9 hostages and a police officer from West Germany died during the massacre. 5 of the attackers were killed, while the other 3 were captured. In the midst of the chaos, German snipers, who were the security of the event and very poorly positioned at the Olympic Games, tried to fix the problem by ambushing the terrorists. They killed 5 of the attackers, but the plan ultimately failed because all of the hostages ended up being killed. The massacre brought a lot of attention to the Palestinian issue because of how much of a threat it was. Ataf Basekio, who was a Palestine Liberation Organization liaison officer, was targeted a lot because of how much he contributed to the slaughtering of the 11 Israeli Olympians. A lot of people wanted him to pay the cost for what he did, and the Prime Minister Yitzhak Shamir approved that mission. German authorities and guards eventually got a lot of backlash from the victim's family for not having enough protection for the athletes and being at fault for not being transparent about the security failures that made it so easy for the Black September group to get into the event and to be able to get to the athletes and to be able to slaughter them while nobody was aware of it happening, and not many people nearby also, which was due to the Olympic security not wanting to appear like the German military in 1936 when Hitler hosted the Olympic game in Berlin. They had a fear of appearing militaristic, so ultimately they didn't have much security. It made it worse that the Germans were getting into a long-lasting conflict the Israelites had with Palestine. Some made it look like Germany was helping Israel. None of the Israeli athletes finished the final days of the Olympics. The Munich Massacre eventually woke up the Western government to the serious threat of terrorism and how to respond to the acts and threats of terrorism. Other terrorists now know how to take advantage of the media by simply just making threats, as we have seen multiple times in today's world. Terrorism itself has decreased due to counter-terrorism teams, but the terrorist threats have increased. Notable terrorist attacks that stem from the terrorist attack of the Munich Massacre include the Boston Marathon bombing and 9/11. The Israeli and Palestinian conflict and tension proceeded in 2006 when the Palestinians crossed the border and attacked Israeli military bases near the border.